Well, it looks like we have two mini me's in Pittsburgh.
I know. We are standing up. Sit up straight, Russ. Come on. We're doing a.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, we found the only place we could actually find where it was somewhat quiet, and we're nice enough to be let into the kids zone at the arena. So this is a really cool place where you can play. There's bubble hockey games, and there's a little rink behind us.
They have air hockey.
They have air hockey. Disemboweled, heads, headless bodies. Yeah, completely. Yes. Yeah,
so is that where Kathy Griffin got the fake head then?
Well, we're not going there.
Anyhow, good job, Mike. Anyway, let's move on. We're just going to talk real quickly about the game tonight, and today is Hello Hockey World. It is Wednesday, May 31st, 2017.
And I'm Michael Agello.
Russ Cohen from Sportsology, and I feel short.
You want to sit on a...
No, I'm good. Keep it going.
We can sit on the... Maybe we can find you a phone book or something.
No, sorry.
All right. And I'm Eklund. You're watching the HockeyBuzzcast on HockeyBuzz.com. I never thought of myself as taller than you.
But you're way taller.
I guess I am. I guess maybe it's just my...
No, you are.
All right. Anyway, we're live from the PPG Arena. We're sorry for the delay. It's storming outside. There's like thunderstorm warnings coming in and everything like that. And we were looking for a quiet place to do the show briefly to kind of catch you up. And if you're watching tonight, you want to watch. If you're watching PK Subban walk in, this was a fun moment I just had. This was good. So we're down, we're down there. As we come out of the media room to come up here, I bump right into PK Subban, who's like dressed to the nines in his
bowler hat,
brown suit, and there's a guy with a camera walking along with him. As you walk in.
He almost ran us over.
And he like bumps into me, and I mean, this guy's solid. I felt it. I'm like, whoa! And at first I was like kind of like ticked off. I'm like, what the hell? And then he just kept walking past me.
Eck ran into PK Subban and tore his ACL, so he's out for the series.
Right. So if something's wrong with him tonight, you can all blame me. But anyway, I'm sure it looks awfully embarrassing from the perspective of that camera. I'm going to look really good if that does end up on tape. So hopefully they cut that part out. I didn't even see him coming.
It happens.
It only happens to me, Russ. But yeah.
No. I got caught in a Kate Moss photo shoot once in New York.
That's a lot better.
It was right by FAO Schwartz, and I wanted to cross the street to get to FAO Schwartz, and so I went from one street to the other. All of a sudden, I'm like, well, who's this woman with these two big Dobermans? And it's Kate Moss walking two Dobermans that were way bigger than her. And so I was in the photo shoot.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm sure everybody was paying attention to you, Russ, and we're ignoring Kate Moss every moment.
I mean, correct, right?
Yeah.
So if you get down here to the kids zone tonight at the PPG Arena, thank the people for letting Hockey Buzzcast happen here, because really there's no place else to do it. It's really loud.
I'm sitting on a giant puck. I took a picture of it.
and our phone that's doing the hangout is propped up on a goal, on an actual 6x4 NHL goal. So
yes.
On the corner facing us. So we're on the top bar of that. So that's why we look so kind of short. So we're sitting on these pucks. Anyway, here we are, game two. Game two tonight. Like I said, I still don't have a feel for this series at all. But you were here today, Russ. I just got here, so
yeah. So the feeling is, Pittsburgh didn't play well. They know they didn't play well. Sullivan knows that his guys dug deep in that first one, but knows they could play better. So he's sort of challenging them now to play better, which I think is smart. Laviolette's going to probably do a lot of the same, but I think he should add more offense. I think Parento or somebody else should be in there. We'll see. There's no real indication that there's going to be any changes on either side, though.
Okay.
No. Hagelin's still a scratch, apparently a healthy scratch, so it sounds like both teams are going with the same lineups.
Here's the thing about Hagelin being scratched. Sullivan has sent some messages and scratch guys, and then he'll take them aside in practice and tell them why and tell them what they need to work on. He's had Hagelin before. He has seen the best and worst of Carl Hagelin. So, there are times where Carl Hagelin disappears in a game. And you can't have that happen against Nashville, and so I think that's what's keeping him out, at least so far.
It's funny because as much as they can scratch Hagelin, he would be a top 6
on any team
for the Predators. I mean, like the Predators would love to have Hagelin. He's a big Fiala type player.
Yes.
They'd love to have him back there. The Penguins have this crazy depth. The thing that struck me today, just about the area around here, is first of all, the rain has kept people away, so it's not as mobbed as it usually is outside.
There's usually a big setup outside.
There's usually a lot of people out there. I had a really nice trip in on the bus with Linda Cohn from ESPN. She was a really sweet woman, and we talked.
It's Cohn.
Not
that I want to correct you, but my name's Cohen and hers is Cohn.
I said Cohn.
And actually, I outranked her in the Jewish religion. Like Cohen's higher. So
Yeah,
I got to straighten out.
Actually didn't talk religion. Surprised. I'm surprised we didn't discuss religion, but we could have.
It's pronounced like Roy Cohn. There you go.
No, but she's great.
Really
she
nice
really
person,
is
like
super nice,
down to earth,
she's
crazy
super
lady.
nice, and she
crazy
used to be a
nice lady.
goalie.
Did she really?
Oh yeah, so you have that in common.
And she's a Ranger fan, so she's almost perfect.
So we have the hatred of the Penguins in common as well.
Yes, you do. And I found out John Clayton, who got fired today, is a Penguins fan.
Oh, wow.
So he's a big NFL guy, and now he's always been a big hockey guy, and apparently Linda is the one who tweeted that out, and so that's kind of cool that at least even if you're fired, your team's in the Stanley Cup, so there's a little silver lining.
Yeah, there's a little bit of something there. So she was super nice, but the whole area outside it has an interesting feel to it, and talking to her and talking to other people as well, there almost is a sense that a lot of people pick the Penguins in 7 or 6, I think, and then but there's a sense if they win tonight, it could be done in 5. Like there's that you get that
I
sense.
picked Penguins in 5. I really believe if the Penguins win tonight, 5.
I mean, it could. Go ahead, Mike.
In talking with Kevin on Sunday, he was saying that a lot of people had been picking the Predators in a long series in 6 or 7, and I mean, we can go into the analysis of the game, what needs to happen, but for the Predators to win, they really need Pekka Rinne to play like Pekka Rinne. I mean, he didn't play like that in Game 1, and I think that cost him the game. And if he stands up and plays up to his potential, up to his normal operating procedure, they have a chance. But if he plays like he did in Game 1, they have no chance.
Yeah, the feeling is that, and talking to a lot of guys last night at an NHL media event, is that Pekka Rinne will be tested early to see if he hasn't really settled into the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
they're going to sort of see about that. Now, here's a food-related thing that I have to sort of bring up today. The food's been really good here, so I don't want to steer anybody wrong.
I think it's where we're going after this, by the way.
But they had this on the menu today at the hotel was chicken parmesan. And Parmesan. And my problem is it's chicken parmesan.
Yes.
And when you say chicken parmesan, I don't know where that came from, but Mike being an Italian guy, that too.
Yeah, just sort of.
Yeah, I mean, but isn't that like isn't that Ray Ferrari's nickname?
Chicken parm, yes, but it's
so
supposed to be Parmigiana, right? They're supposed to be, loaded with cheese and sauce, and this had the cheese and sauce on it, and I didn't even taste any Parmesan. So I just want to tell caterers out there, it's chicken Parmesan. That's it. Just leave it at that.
This further enhances our feeling that Pittsburgh has no actual interesting foods that are to call their own, right?
No, they make good sandwiches. I mean,
they do. Yeah, I agree. They have beef on. Is the beef on whack thing? Is that?
That's Buffalo. That's Buffalo.
Right? Oh, that's Buffalo. Yeah.
With the Kimmelwitz roll, with the salted roll.
It's really good, man. I'm super hungry. Just realizing that. All right.
End the webcast. It's over.
I have not eaten. All right, so let's talk about what has happened. I mean, so I say that, but then I also will say this: that I don't believe that. I still think this is a long series. I feel like there's a lot of people talking 5 games. It's like there's a lot of people talking. Like if the Penguins win tonight, that's it.
Yeah, they were influenced by Game 1. Like there weren't a lot of people talking 5 games. You guys gasped when I said 5 before the series started. Right. I think after there's a Game 1 loss, then I think it tends to sway people. Yeah. But every game's different.
But from watching, but the way that Game 1 went down, I don't know why you'd suddenly be more on the Penguins bandwagon.
Right, because if nothing else, you would say the Penguins got lucky. If you really want to.
I know why, Act, because the Penguins played horribly and still won. They're not going to play if they play this bad again. I'll be shocked if they play up.
Like the thing that Kevin always says, out in the 90s, things changed from the team played well versus the team played hardly. I mean, I think the Predators just played really well.
They did. I'm giving like I said yesterday, I'm giving them all the credit in the world. They played great, but the final result is they still lost. They got a goal from Colton Sissons, a goal from Frederick Goudreau, and they allowed 11 shots on goal and they lost. That's my point.
You don't get a participation trophy in the Stanley Cup. I will tell you, here's a little. If there's going to be a little momentum for the Penguins, they threw out Chris Letang to the media today, and it's interesting because on media day, Chris Letang walked around, but he disappeared quickly. So I guess he didn't really want to talk about it because it's probably tough for him, right? I mean, he's played the Stanley Cups and he can't play in this one, but he did talk today, and he actually was trending like on Yahoo, and I kind of wonder now, is that going to be like, are they going to get the for the old guy term, like a Willis Reed effect. And because he's been traveling with the team, he's been talking to the team, even though he's injured, he's been part of like the coaching, they said, like sort of like, in a ancillary way. And so I kind of wonder if that's going to motivate some of their guys now to win it for Letang.
Well, it might, and I'm assuming he had the surgery that they had mentioned back in April that he was, so it's not like a Willis Reed thing where he's gonna all of a sudden come out of the locker room and play.
No, he's not Kirk Gibson or anything.
No, right. He's not playing, but
no.
He is a very important player on the team and very well liked. And he's part of the core, and it is great. The Penguins have done that before too. They had brought players in and made them more. I mean, coaches. I mean, look at their coaches now. Their assistant coach now, and Rick Tocchet. So that's not something I'm being shocked at. I think that they should keep him around the team as much as possible.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move. I wrote an article this morning on Ron Hainsey. People want to go check it out on Sportsology. An interesting thing, I could not, and I asked a bunch of media guys yesterday, a bunch of reporters, we could not come up with a situation where a team traded for a defenseman at the deadline and he ends up being your top pairing defenseman in the Stanley Cup. Couldn't find that anywhere.
Yeah.
And then if you add the fact that he's a 36-year-old top pairing defenseman, like Ron Hainsey's never even really played top pairing other than maybe in Atlanta when they signed him there.
Right. This is a perfect spot for him. I mean,
and it's crazy that he has worked into Letang's role. Now, he only has 5 points in the playoffs, but the puck moving, the being smart part, everything else he could replicate. And, boy, that's been a big deal for them.
As much experience. I mean, he's, I'm convinced he will be a GM someday. Too. I mean, there's no question.
And it's his first Stanley Cup.
This would be a good going out for him, I would imagine.
Yeah, my prediction was if they were to win the Stanley Cup, he'll be one of the first, if not the first guy that they'll hand it to.
Yeah, they would have to. Wonder if he would be playing, or everyone seems to think he's going to be a part of the NHLPA or something along the lines of the general.
But he's a free agent this year.
I know.
And we probably didn't even think about talking about Ron Hainsey. And I don't even know if he's on the rumor chart.
He's not. I know he might be on the rumor chart, but he's not. He's not. But
I sense now that there's some
interest
interest building.
I kind of assume he's going to retire.
And the thing is, I mean, if he doesn't stay with Pittsburgh, and Rutherford had a history with Hainsey, because I'm pretty sure that Rutherford acquired him from Columbus to Carolina, so he knows what type of player he is. But I think he's 36 years old, Russ, and you're not going to get him. No team is probably going to sign him for more than a 1-year contract. So
he might go back to Carolina for a year.
Yeah, he could, but they're so loaded on defense that they really, they might not really need him. But there are teams out there, as we know, that are going to on July 1 are going to be scouring the free agents for veteran defensemen. He could be a guy who gets a 1-year signing someplace like Chicago.
Yep.
And plugs.
If he's willing to do that, and
I mean, Sergei Gonchar got signed every year too. He's like 45. So
very similar. I think very similar. But no, I'm happy for him if he gets a chance. He's a good guy. And
he is a good guy.
You check that out on Sportsology.
No, can we? I don't know if you want to touch on this, Act, but it was a rather interesting little story. We know that there are going to be side deals when it comes to the expansion draft, and we know that the talks are they've already been starting. I'm sure the general managers have been contacting George McVie in Vegas, but with the combine going on in Buffalo and a lot of GMs there, and probably some of them also in Pittsburgh, there's a lot of stuff starting to leak out. And the one thing that leaked out today, and it's not 100% sure, but there's speculation regarding the Blackhawks and Vegas, where the Blackhawks would purposely leave Trevor Van Riemsdyk unprotected so Vegas would be able to take him, but at the cost of Vegas taking on Marcus Kruger and his, I think it's $3.1 million salary for another year. That kind of stuff is going to make the expansion draft really interesting.
Yeah, I think most of the GMs are actually at the combine. I don't think there are many here.
No, they're all at the combine because they all did the interviews yesterday and today.
Yeah, I think that's no, it makes a ton of sense. So that's the kind of deal that McPhee's going to do. And taking on a $3 million contract for 1 year is exactly what Vegas does.
But here's the thing: I spoke to a bunch of reporters yesterday and got the feel, and the feel was Vegas is not going to get a great team. They're actually whoever thought that they were getting a great team, they're really not. The GMs are really thinking this through, and there's, like you said, there's going to be those deals, and then there's going to be the way that they
Right.
make those deals so that they don't get the players they don't want to lose players in these teams.
And
Yeah.
and I get why the league is going to say, you know, for $500 million, of course they're going to say, yeah,
Right.
this is going to be a good team and they're going to be competitive. They may be competitive. They're just not going to be good. And they're not going to be good because teams are not on purpose going to leave talented players out there for Vegas to pick.
So what's competitive? Like I figure if they, what's going to happen is they'll try and be a defensive team. They won't have a good enough defense.
Right.
So when they lose by 2 goals a game, is that competitive?
No, like I think I said earlier in the year, I think they're right. You know, the race for Vegas is, can they be as good as Arizona? And they might be. They could be.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one too, though. It will.
It will be. Yeah.
Inevitably will be. I mean, I think, game to game competitive they can be, but whether or not, I mean, they're going to go through bad losing streaks. That's usually what happens with expansion teams. There's usually, and they could come out and go like 4-1 in the first 5 games or whatever,
and then they lose 12.
Right, and that's kind of what you'll see, and that tends to be the case. I think that's.
I go back to the Nashville, because they were the last expansion team we remember, and I don't remember like if they had those kinds of lows. I don't remember that.
I thought they were pretty good from the outset. I remember.
They were like second from last.
Yeah, they were right there towards the bottom, but they didn't. But their first pick was Legwan, right?
Yeah, Legwan was their first
pick. I'm
pick.
trying to think if they had a really good pick the next year. They must have.
They had Vokun and Dunham in net.
Yes.
But their draft pick the next year must have been pretty good, though.
I'll check.
Yeah, but I think that I think what the NHL wants from them is just to stay with teams and games and battle. But I actually don't agree that they're not going to be good. It's interesting. I think they are going to be good, and I actually think this Kroger, this type deal, if they do it right, if they get Bobby Ryan, they get some other players like that, and draft picks, they can be pretty good right off the bat.
Here's what I would do if I were the GM, and certainly I'm no George McPhee. He's way better, maybe. No, I'm kidding. But here's what I would do. I would try and get a really gritty, annoying team. That's what I would try and do, because like I would want to be that team. Sort of like like the Charlestown Chiefs. Like, you don't want to come in and play us because we're unpredictable and you don't know what we're going to do. Like, I'd want a bunch of Steve Otts on the team just to annoy a team like Chicago.
Pull John Scott out of retirement.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Here you go. And then we can.
Right.
We can expect this out of Vegas in the next couple of years. Nashville had 5 second-round picks in the '99 draft. That was the second draft that they had, the second draft of their existence. Their first pick was goaltender Brian Finley, who played 4 NHL games and and that was it. And of the 5 second-round picks, only one, Adam Hall, who I think played with Tampa most of his career.
Pretty good player, actually.
Yeah, he was the only one.
That's the odds.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to get going because I don't want to. They have their stuff to do here, but we just want to do a quick show here, guys, and enjoy the show tonight. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yep.
And enjoy the show.
I'll be in beautiful Buffalo tomorrow.
It will be. That's right. And Mike will be at the Combines as well.
Yes.
No. Tomorrow's a non-combine day.
Right.
So I'll be doing it like from a hotel or the Anchor Bar.
It's pretty crazy with the Combines going on at the same time.
Well,
yeah.
Only if you want people being sick in the background, Russ. Just kidding.
There you have it. Remember, without the buzz, it's just hockey. We will talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Enjoy the game.